September 29, 2021, a quiet neighborhood in Katy, Texas, suddenly shattered by panic. Inside one family home, a teenage boy called 911 in complete terror. His voice trembled as he begged for help.
Harris County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I just killed my sister. Oh my God.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I thought it was a dream. I took my wife and I stabbed her. Please, I don't want her to die. I'm sorry.
How old is she?
17, we're twins.
We're gonna have to start CPR right now.
But then came the explanation that stunned investigators. Benjamin claimed he wasn't awake when it happened. He said he was sleepwalking. A defense so rare, so unbelievable, that it divided the entire country. Was this cold-blooded murder? Or could a sleeping mind actually commit homicide? This is the disturbing true story of Benjamin Elliott. Benjamin and Meghan Elliott grew up in Katy, Texas. To outsiders, they looked like a normal suburban family. The twins were known to be close, very close. Friends described them as inseparable. They went to school together, spent time together, and according to neighbors, there were no obvious signs of hatred or violence between them. Nothing that suggested one twin would someday kill the other. Benjamin was described as intelligent but quiet, sometimes socially withdrawn. Meghan, on the other hand, was seen as warm, friendly, and outgoing. Like many twins, they shared a bond most people could never fully understand. And because of that bond, the crime became even harder to comprehend. There was no public history of abuse, no known violent fights, no obvious motive, just one horrifying night that changed everything forever. It was late at night on September 29, 2021. The Elliott family was asleep inside their home. At some point during the early morning hours, something terrible happened. According to Benjamin later, he claimed he had been dreaming. In the dream, there was danger, fear, chaos, and then suddenly, he woke up. But instead of waking safely in bed, Benjamin claimed he woke standing over Meghan, holding a knife, his sister bleeding beside him. Reality had become a nightmare. Police say Meghan had been stabbed multiple times. The attack was violent, personal, terrifying. Benjamin immediately called 911.
Harris County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I just killed my sister.
You could hear panic in his voice, fear, confusion, desperation. At first, some people believed his shock sounded genuine. Others believed it was an act. But one thing was undeniable. A young girl was dead, and her twin brother admitted responsibility. Almost immediately, Benjamin's defense team introduced a shocking explanation. They argued Benjamin was suffering from a parasomnia episode. Parasomnia is a sleep disorder that can cause people to perform actions while not fully awake. Sleepwalking is one example, but experts say parasomnia can sometimes become far more extreme. There have been rare cases involving driving, eating, violence, and even homicide. The defense argued Benjamin had a documented history of unusual sleep behavior. Family members reportedly claimed he had sleepwalked before. They believed he had no conscious control during the attack, meaning legally, he should not be considered fully responsible. This type of defense is incredibly rare because proving someone was truly asleep during a killing is extremely difficult. There's no machine that can travel backward in time and confirm the state of someone's brain during a crime. So investigators began asking difficult questions. If Benjamin was unconscious, why did the attack appear targeted? Why did he allegedly try to stop Meghan from screaming? And why did some evidence suggest awareness before the stabbing happened? The case quickly transformed into a battle between psychology, medicine, and criminal law. As detectives dug deeper into the case, they searched for motive. But finding one wasn't easy. The twins reportedly had a normal relationship. No major public conflicts. No known threats. No clear reason for murder. But prosecutors believed Benjamin's behavior raised suspicion. Investigators examined his cell phone activity, his movements before the attack, and his statements afterward. The prosecution argued that Benjamin's actions showed signs of consciousness and intent, not unconscious sleepwalking. They pointed to the brutality of the attack, the number of stab wounds, and the fact that Benjamin used a survival knife. The defense responded by saying violent actions can happen during severe parasomnia episodes. Sleep experts testified that people experiencing these episodes may appear awake, but are actually trapped in a confused, dreamlike mental state. The courtroom became divided between two terrifying possibilities. Either Benjamin knowingly murdered his twin sister, or the human brain was capable of committing murder while asleep. Both possibilities were horrifying. By the time the trial began, the case had already attracted national attention. Many people had never heard of sleepwalking being used as a murder defense. Some believed it immediately, others completely rejected it. Inside the courtroom, prosecutors painted Benjamin as fully aware of what he was doing. They argued the killing was intentional, calculated, and impossible to explain away as unconscious behavior. The defense told a very different story. They described Benjamin as a teenager trapped inside a medical nightmare, someone whose own brain betrayed him. Experts discussed REM sleep disorders, parasomnia, and documented cases of violent sleep behavior from around the world. The jury listened carefully, because this wasn't just about one family anymore. The verdict could influence how future courts treated sleep disorder defenses in violent crimes. If Benjamin was innocent due to unconsciousness, how could prosecutors ever prove intent in similar cases? But if he was guilty, then the defense was simply a desperate attempt to escape responsibility. The stakes were enormous. Lost beneath the legal arguments was the devastating reality faced by the Elliott family. In a single night, they lost both children. Meghan was gone forever, and Benjamin faced spending much of his life in prison. No matter the verdict, the family's world had already been destroyed. Cases like this create a different kind of grief, because unlike crimes involving strangers, this tragedy happened inside the home, between siblings, between twins. For the parents, there were no winners, only unimaginable loss. And perhaps the cruelest part of all, the lingering uncertainty. What truly happened inside Benjamin's mind that night? Was it evil, mental illness, or a terrifying medical condition science still doesn't fully understand? Even today, people continue debating those questions. In February 2025, the jury finally reached its decision. After reviewing the evidence, listening to expert testimony, and debating the sleepwalking defense, the jury rejected Benjamin Elliott's claim. He was found guilty of felony murder. Later, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. For prosecutors, the verdict confirmed what they believed all along. Benjamin was responsible for knowingly killing his sister. But for supporters of the defense, questions remained unanswered. Some believed the justice system failed to properly understand parasomnia. Others feared the defense itself was too dangerous to accept in court. Because if sleepwalking could excuse murder, where would the legal limits end? The case became one of the most controversial sleep disorder trials in recent memory, and public opinion remains deeply divided. As strange as it sounds, medical experts say violent behavior during parasomnia is possible, though extremely rare. There have been documented cases around the world where people committed shocking acts while allegedly asleep. Some attacked family members, some drove cars, some even killed. But proving these claims is incredibly complicated because the brain during sleep remains one of science's greatest mysteries. Researchers still don't fully understand consciousness itself, and cases like Benjamin Elliott force society to confront disturbing questions. How much control do humans truly have over their actions? Can a sleeping brain distinguish dreams from reality? And if someone commits murder unconsciously, should they be punished like a conscious killer? These questions don't have easy answers, and perhaps they never will. One house, one family, one horrifying night, and a mystery that may never be fully understood. Benjamin Elliott says he woke from a nightmare to discover he had killed his twin sister. A jury believed otherwise, but years later, the debate continues. Was this murder, or one of the rarest and most terrifying medical tragedies imaginable? Because if someone can kill while asleep, then perhaps the most dangerous part of the human mind is the part we don't control. And somewhere behind this case is the memory of Meghan Elliott, a 17-year-old girl whose life ended in a way nobody could have imagined. A tragedy that transformed a quiet Texas home into one of America's most chilling true crime cases.